Hi there, my name is Lauren. So you're on my channel, Lauren's Lines. This is my first speed paint video. To start off, before we start, or while it's still getting started, I've learned a lot from doing this speed paint video. A lot of things I'm not going to do again, like the way I filmed it and that sort of stuff. It's a bit shaky, particularly the beginning is not that great. What you can see at the moment is I'm doing the sketch for a landscape and also doing a rose at the same time. Just while I wait for each gouache later to dry. I get a bit impatient, so sometimes it's nice to be able to doing two things at once. So I've got two sketchbooks going. One is just about filled up, that's the one with the rose, and this new one has got the landscape in it. In my old one, I was doing a lot of work from reference and a lot of like movie scenes and that sort of stuff. Referencing movies and things that I liked that sort of inspired me that way. But in this new sketchbook, the plan is to do things that from my life, things that I see that inspire me. So the scene that I'm painting at the moment is from a park in Rome that we spent a lot of time in, and I just thought the sun on the building and the trees was really nice. It looked like a painting, the picture that I took, or like even just being there felt like being in a painting. Yeah, I did struggle midway with this painting. You can tell I start off, I'm in my pajamas, and then there's a bit of a gap and I come back and I'm in my jeans. There was quite a long gap there because at that midway point I was really not liking it. I hated it. I thought it looked terrible. But then I, came back with fresh eyes and kept going, and I think sometimes it's important to keep going on something even if you think it's not going to work, because now with the finished result I'm quite happy with it. It has a feeling of what that day was like, and even though some things aren't perfect, I'm reasonably happy with it, and I did learn quite a bit. Yeah, I am still, I filled a sketchbook with gouache already, but I'm definitely still learning the medium and getting used to it. Yeah, getting the texture, or like having enough water mixed in or too much water mixed in, is something I have to get right. One thing I did try and do was to block in a lot of the shadows and not get too detailed. Often I quite struggle with greens and I make them too squiggly looking and try to put too much detail in. And I think the one thing I was happy with was just blocking in the greens. Like this one's darker green, this one's a lighter green, this one's a slightly bluier green. But not going too overboard with it. Often that's something I tend to do. So trying to really simplify the landscape or the scene. Yeah. I've gotten much more comfortable with it, and it looks a lot better. Although I keep thinking that I'm finished and then being like, oh no, I want to do some more. So I take off a bit of masking tape, do a little bit, take off another bit of masking tape and do a bit more, because I've not really finished it. I just use normal masking tape from the hardware. I try to get one that's not wrapped in plastic because that just seems so pointless. And I generally use the masking tape as a colour swatch, so I can see how it looks against all the other colours that I've got there. Also paint over the same bits quite a bit. The bit sort of, I guess, like middle to background was quite tricky for me. Yeah, sort of like a concreted area, but had all sorts of things going in it. But really I just simplified it all, and I think that turned out much better. Yeah, I think the sky is probably my favourite part, and those two trees. So yeah, thank you very much for watching, and let me know what you thought in the comments below. Bye!